Luxembourg motherfuckers are doing that? Are you serious?
I don't think the owner is.
Chin shots are not nice. The project, it was a concept that was created from some friends of mine, actually in Macedonia. Now, when I say Macedonia, I'm sorry to the Greeks. Already they're going to say, well, Macedonia is a different thing. Skopje. And the idea was put together maybe 2 or 3 years ago to create this thing where I went around the world and my music was performed with an orchestra. To bring this man into it came there was really an idea where he was discussing with me many times, Derrick, I want to sit with you and make some music, or I want to be a part of something you're doing. And of course I know him through Carl, and I just know him, he's a wonderful person, so it was a great opportunity to bring him into the project. Where was that? We were in Belgium, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the first time that he came into the project, and it was fairly interesting because it was almost kind of last minute, if I'm not mistaken. With he broke his hand, he broke his arm, broke his hand. So it really turned into something more special than we even had planned. You know, we've only done one together so far. Altogether, I've done just 2 shows, I think. Have I done more than 2? Just 2 shows. But the idea is to do many. I want to work. I want to collaborate as much as possible. It's a magical thing, and I just want to keep that. I want to work that magic more and just make it something very, very hybrid and special. Yeah.
The person responsible for the arrangements here is Gizan. He's the conductor, and he's quite wonderful. And if I may, he brought in a kind of a Balkanic touch, kind of a soulful element, which I think was quite remarkable. It's grandiose orchestration. It's got a choir, it's got a full symphony orchestra. So I think the people who know Derrick's music will definitely have a new impression of that music through the orchestration. So
I think it's cool too because it opens the door for a lot of people that don't know the music. And that's been really interesting as well, because we're getting requests from symphony orchestras all around the world to produce this show. I can't really get into discussion about which places are interested in taking the show right now because we don't want to, as we say in English, jump the gun. But the enthusiasm for this idea is amazing. And I think you have to also give a big thanks to Jeff Mills. The reason is because what Jeff is doing is also very avant-garde. You know, it's 1 step ahead, 2 steps to the left. And it's been one of the benchmarks, one of the hurdles, one of the steps to give myself the opportunity to present such a prestige event. I've known Jeff since I was 17 years old, so it's a bit competitive, but you know, I think the competitiveness keeps it fresh and it keeps it exciting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wait. I can only think of one impression in my mind that brings it to the forefront. Philip Glass, to me. I mean, I don't know about you, but my impression of electronic hybrid fusion is Philip Glass. He always tried to do that, and he's always done that. Well, your opinion?
No, definitely the American minimalism. So, I mean, you say Glass, but there's also Morton Feldman, there's Terry Riley, there's Steve Reich.
Okay. The taxi driver.
The taxi driver.
Right. He was a taxi driver.
Kind of.
Yeah, something like that.
definitely, it's been a lot of interplay going on for decades. You know, we're talking about music that was written, 40, 50 years ago. Philip Glass, some of them still write music nowadays.
Do you think those guys are going to pay attention to something like this?
I would hope they do.
I would too.
I would hope they do. I'm not sure they would, but I would hope they do.
That would disappoint me if this thing didn't jet what Jeff is doing, what Ron doing.
Didn't catch their attention.
Didn't catch their attention. Because we do it as a compliment to them.
Definitely, definitely. I think you said the word too. You said hybrid. You know, this is what it's about. I think it's not. We're not trying to limit or to define a sound by music by a sound. We're trying to give the music all possible kinds of sounds. And when you give orchestra the material that has been originally written for programmed instruments.
Rigid. Gang, 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 gang.
Exactly. Mathematical. You're going to have different emotions listening to it, and you have another nature, you discover another nature of the music.
Now you asked me a question, or I said to you about making some music, and I said to you that I write the names of my songs before I write the songs. Well, when I write music, guess what? I make the music without drums, period. I add the drums last, because everything I make is like I'm making it for a symphony. I've always made every piece of music like that, with the strings, the layers, the textures. That's the way I make music. So for me, the music is in the perfect, this is where it belongs.
Definitely, and it's already, like you say, it's already orchestral. The electronic version is already orchestral, so it only makes sense to make it played by an orchestra.
That's why we're gonna kick your ass with it. I think for me it's fairly simple. Paris is when you can make a fire in Paris, when you can create an explosion, when you can catch the creative buzz, when you can make something electric here, it just goes. It just goes. It's like water. It's just running, and you feel it instantly. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take that sort of build up, fight hard for make. It just goes. It's a complete explosion, and you can feel it at that exact moment that you did it. The French people remind me a lot of people from my city, from Detroit. When I was a kid growing up as a DJ, right? If you had one bad mix as a DJ, people would walk off the floor. I mean, they wouldn't stop dancing and pick it up and find the groove and keep going. They would walk off the fucking floor. They were gone. Now you gotta play 3, 4, 5 records to work it, to get them back on the floor. And don't dare have another bad mix. Okay? This is what I feel about the French people. They're very temperamental, a bit shitty sometimes, be assholes, fucked up too on occasion. Some smell, but most are okay. Most are good people. The food is always good, girls have an attitude, but I like them anyway. But the music thing, if it's right, it just goes. Simple. And the attitude, the personality, all the things that make French people is no longer important. It's just about that music. Your turn.
I like what you say. I like what you say. I don't know if I have anything to add.
Sure you do. On a classical level. Do you like the classical audience? Do you think they're a little bit conservative, tight? Are they cool?
No.
Is it getting younger?
I think it's getting younger, and I think Paris is without a doubt
Still the leader?
one of the world capitals of institutionalized classical music, for sure. There's Berlin, there's London, there's New York, there's Berlin, there's Tokyo, and there's Paris.
Where's the most bravado, open-minded classical music scene right now? In the world, on the planet?
If you say the open-minded classical, then you're already redefining it as a kind of hybrid audience, because the core classical audience is conservative by nature.
Yes.
So I would say maybe Berlin, but also Tokyo is pretty open-minded.
All right.
And I just think generally it's a great time to live in because things are just opening up. I mean, to have an orchestra play at Weather Festival is
amazing.
Substantial.
Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting.
And you know, reversely, to have Jeff Mills play at the Philharmonie is also substantial. So this is what's happening right now, and it's very exciting times.
It's extremely. A lot of fun too, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but it's fun. Because you're trying to you're trying to do it perfect, but you're trying also to keep the interest of the people.
Mm.
That's the hard part, because it's still classical music. You know, at the end of the day, and how do you do that to keep a 17-year-old kid interested? This is house music for us, techno music for us. This is our thing. For those guys back in the day, that was their techno music, their house music.
Exactly.
You know, so they might dig it.
Yeah. And in regard to you know, techno or techno being the technological or forward-thinking music, you know, composers have always worked very closely with instrument developers and instrument creators and inventors. So Bach, for example, he was very interested in how to build and how to tune an organ. And hey man, that's a synth, you know, that's your love for the Prophet or for the Juno. That's Bach, you know, just wanting to find out how is this organ built and what I'm going to make out of it, how I'm going to work the sound. So I think it's the same thing.
That's cool.
You know, for me the labeling of techno or classical or rock or it all doesn't make sense. You know, you say it's the house music. You know, it's the music. You know, it's been going on for many centuries, and it will go on for many other centuries. So let's not break it down. Let's just take it as one big continuum.
That would be, I don't know. I think you have to say Amadeus, because he was out of his mind. He was a bit gay and straight, and he loved drugs, and he liked to party, and he was like all over the place, and he was a radical, and he was super young, and he couldn't be controlled, and at the same time he was arrogant, a complete asshole, and he knew his shit. So you gotta put him in there.
Yeah.
Let the Germans kick his ass.
He was Austrian.
I know, but the Germans will kick his ass.
Yeah.
You know, that's back when Austrians were real Austrians. So you got Clinton, of course. Clinton's just gonna smoke his weed and do his thing. Amadeus is gonna say, "What is that?" Because Amadeus is always doing his little, you know. Here comes Clinton with a big joint, and this dude with this makeup on and this white wig with these little tight pants and what have you. Try this, man. You know. Oh my God. Yeah, could be interesting.
Okay.
That's because I can read your fucking questions through the paper back in French, upside down.